Tales from the Treehouse.
Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to Tales from the Treehouse. I'm going to tell you a story, so make sure you're feeling nice and comfy. Make sure you're lying or sitting down, not too warm, not too cold, just feeling relaxed. To help, take a breath in and out. In for 3, 1, 2, 3. Out for 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In for 3, 1, 2, 3. Out for 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Soft, calm, and relaxed. This will help your imagination flow. This is a listening story, so that you can close your eyes if you like, and watch the pictures to go with the story just come into your mind. Imagine what all the characters look like for you, and walk through their world with them. Here we go. Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there lived a poor widow. She lived in a tiny little house with her son, whose name was Jack. Now they had very little in this little house. They were very poor, you see. The only thing they had, by which they could make any money at all, was a cow, whose name was Milky White. Now Milky White had been making milk for Jack and his mother for many years. What they would do every day is go out and milk the cow. You know, you can imagine sitting down and putting your hands underneath the cow's udders, giving it a good squirt, until they had a full bucket of milk, which then they could take to the market to sell. But one day, when Jack's mother went out to milk the cow, this happened. There was no more milk. It didn't matter how hard she pulled on the cow's udders, not another drop would come out apart from the very last one. And that was it. "Jack," said Jack's mother. "Jack, come here. Jack, look, there's no more milk coming out of the cow. See?" "Oh no," said Jack. "What are we going to do?" "Oh, I don't know, but perhaps it'll be fine, and tomorrow the cow will have some milk again." But the next day was the same, and the day after that, and the day after that. They had now had no food for 3 whole days, and they were feeling so hungry that Jack's mother said to Jack, "Jack, it's come to this. We're just going to have to take the cow to market and sell her, so that at least we have enough money for the next few days to eat something. Oh, and after that, Jack, I don't know what we're going to do." And so, very sadly, Jack had to take Milky White and lead him on his little rope down the road and away from the house for the very last time. Now, as he went down the road, he was thinking that it was quite a long way to the market, and Jack was a bit of a lazy boy. So, when the next thing happened, he was rather pleased. A little man jumped out from behind a bush next to the road. "Hello, Jack," he said. "Are you by any chance taking that cow to market?" And Jack said, "Yeah, I am." "Well, I might be able to save you the trip." "Really?" "Yes. Listen, I am willing to trade this cow of yours for a price that would be very difficult to match by anyone down at the market, and I'll save you the trip." "What's that?" said Jack. "Well, I have here 5 magic beans that I could exchange for your cow." "5 beans? What use would I have for some beans?" "Like I said, these are magic beans. If you plant one of these beans in the soil, by the very next day, you will have a beanstalk that's so tall it will reach up to the very clouds. It could be the making of your fortune, Jack." "Whoa, beanstalks have beans on them, don't they?" "Yes, that's right. We'd have food like straight away." "You would, wouldn't you?" "Yes. Perhaps you could sell some of the beans too, eh? make up for the milk you're missing?" "Oh, yes," said Jack. "It's a deal. Here you are." And he gave the cow to the man, and the little man gave the 5 magic beans to Jack, who ran all the way home and said, "Mother, Mother, come outside. Look what I got." "What is it, Jack? Have you sold the cow?" "Yes, Mum." "How much did you get for her, Jack?" No, don't tell me." "Did you get £5 for her, Jack?" She was obviously impressed by the look of happiness on Jack's face. "No, Mother." "Oh, did you get £10 for her, Jack?" "No." "Did you get £20 for her, Jack?" "No, Mother. I got these 5 magic beans." "5 beans? 5 stupid beans? Oh, Jack, you've been swindled." "What? What's that mean?" "You've been fooled, Jack." Oh, you silly boy. "Give me those this instant." And she snatched them off him. "This is what I think of your stupid beans." And she threw them out into the garden. Jack couldn't believe it. "Mum, what did you do that for?" "You silly boy. Now we have nothing. You sold our cow for practically nothing. Oh, what are we going to do? Well, for starters, you are going to go to bed with no supper. Well, it's not as if we had any supper anyway." Oh. So Jack had to go to bed, which he did, feeling very sorry for himself. But that night, while he was asleep, something amazing happened outside. One of those beans had fallen in the soil, and it started to grow. Why don't you imagine that you are the little bean in the soil? First of all, you start off really small and all scrunched up. That's it, in a little ball. Then you send up one hand upwards into the air, like a little shoot. That's it, stretch up. Let the other hand follow. Yeah, that's it. Point up to the sky with your hands together. That's it. And grow up and up, snaky up towards the sky, and spread out your arms like the leaves and the branches. That's right. And then you can dangle your fingers at the ends of your arms, like the bean pods hanging in the wind. Now that beanstalk grew up so high that it pressed against Jack's bedroom window. And when he woke up, it seemed darker outside than normal. "Hey, what's going on here?" he thought. "I'd better go outside and have a look." So he did. He saw the beanstalk stretching up and up and up so high it touched the very clouds. "Whoa!" said Jack. "I can't believe it. Oh, the man was right. Look at all those beans. We're not going to be hungry. Hey, but look how high it goes." "I wonder," thought Jack, who, as well as being lazy, was also actually quite an adventurous and curious boy, "what is above the clouds up there? I could climb this beanstalk and see for myself." And so he did. He took hold of a branch and he started to climb up and up and up, higher and higher and higher, until finally he got to the very clouds, and his head went through the clouds, and he found himself in another world. And in this other world there was a road leading from the top of the beanstalk to a castle. So Jack walked along this road to the castle, where he found, outside the castle gates, was stood the tallest, the most enormous woman he had ever seen. She was almost as tall as a house. "Oh, hello," said Jack. "Oh, and who might you be?" said the enormous woman. I'm just a poor traveller, and I haven't had anything to eat for 3 days. I was hoping you might have something for me." "Well, I might just do that too," said the woman. "But listen here, you should know that my husband is an horrible giant who likes eating little boys like you for his breakfast. So if he comes back, you better do as I say and make sure you're safe. You understand?" Oh, yes," said Jack. "Of course I will." "Then come inside," said the giant's wife. And Jack did. Inside the castle gates, he found himself in an enormous kitchen, the biggest kitchen he'd ever seen. And the kitchen table was taller than he was, and the stool next to the kitchen table was almost as tall as he was, so that he had to climb up it to get to the top. Once he was there, just about able to put his chin on top of the table, the woman came and put in front of him some bread and some cheese, which he ate down straight away. Oh, excuse me, he said. That was so delicious. He finally had some food in his belly, and he felt so much better. But then he heard footsteps, and a sniffing noise, followed by a voice. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Oh, that's my husband, said the giant's wife. You better go and hide in the oven. Quick, go on down there. And so Jack jumped off the stool and pulled himself inside the oven and pulled the door shut, leaving it open just a little crack so he could see what was going on outside. And then in came the giant. There's no one here, said the giant's wife. It's just your breakfast you can smell. Sit yourself down and I'll bring it to you now. The giant sat down on the stool, and the giant's wife brought out for him 3 whole calves for his breakfast. Now, in case you don't know what a calf is, it's actually a baby cow, which is still, I'm sure you'll agree, rather a large thing. And the giant ate them down in 3 big gulps. He burped. Do you think he said excuse me? Do you think he said pardon me? No, he didn't, because big horrible giants have no manners. He just said, Wife, bring me my money. And the giant's wife brought him out 2 sacks full of gold coins, which he then proceeded to pile up on the table in front of him. And as he did, he chuckled to himself, saying, Yeah, all this money that I've stolen from the people of that land down below all these years. Look how rich I am now. But he was full of calf, and so it didn't take long for his head to start to nod. And then it was resting on the table, and the giant fell fast asleep. Jack, meanwhile, noticed how much money there was on the table, and he thought, So that giant stole all that money, did he? Well, maybe I'll have to steal it off of him then. And Jack opened up the oven door, crept across the kitchen floor, grabbed the 2 bags of coins and ran out of the kitchen as fast as his legs would carry him. He ran all the way to the top of the beanstalk and climbed down and down and down until he got to his home and cried out, Mother, Mother, come and see what I've got. And Jack's mother came out. Jack put the sacks on the ground and he said, Mother, look. What's this? She had a look inside the sacks. Oh, Jack, where did you get this all from? Jack explained. He got it from a giant who'd stolen it from other people. Well, oh, Jack, we're rich. We are rich. And they were. But the thing is about money, that if you just have some and then you carry on spending it and you don't have any way of getting any more, then what's going to happen to it eventually? Yes, you're going to run out. And a couple of years after this, the money was indeed all gone. And 3 days after that, Jack and his mother were poor again. In fact, Jack was so hungry, he decided he had to climb up the beanstalk and see what else he could get from the giant. And so he did, up and up and up, higher and higher and higher, until he popped out through the clouds and found himself in the other world. And once again there was the road and the castle. So along the road he walked until he got to the castle, and again, like before, outside the castle gates was the enormous woman. Ah, hello, said Jack. What can I do for you? Said the giant's wife. Well, I'm a lonely traveller. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten anything for 3 days. I was wondering if you might give me something." "Well now," said the giant's wife, "it's funny you should say that. Someone came by here a couple of years back and said much the same thing. And then he stole my husband's money. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?" Yes. Yes, I do. I know the chap who did that. And if you give me some bread and some cheese, I'll tell you all about him." "Very well," said the giant's wife. "In that case, in you come." And so Jack went inside the kitchen once more, and once he was sat at the table, the giant's wife brought him out some bread and cheese. He ate it all down. Excuse me. Suddenly, there was the sound of footsteps. Boom, 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 and a sniffing noise. And then a voice. "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "Oh, that's my husband. Oh, yeah, he's an horrible giant who likes eating little boys like you for breakfast. If I was you, I'd get inside the oven right now and hide yourself. Go on." So Jack jumped down off the stool, got inside the oven and pulled the door shut, just enough so he could peek out through a little gap. And in came the giant. "Where is he?" "Well, there's no Englishman here, husband," said the giant's wife. "It's probably just your breakfast you can smell. Sit down and I'll bring it to you now." He did, and then the giant's wife brought him out 3 fully grown cows for his breakfast, and the giant ate them in 3 big gulps. He burped. Do you think he said excuse me? No. Do you think he said pardon me? Not at all, because big horrible giants have no manners. He just said, "Wife, bring me my hen." And Jack watched as the giant's wife brought out a very ordinary brown hen and put it on the table in front of the giant. And the giant said, "Lay." And the chicken went, and out from the chicken popped a golden egg. Yeah, an egg made of solid gold. And then he said it again. "Lay." Another one popped out. "Lay." And another one, until there were a whole number of these golden eggs in front of him on the table. And about that time, the cows in his tummy started to make him feel sleepy. His head nodded. He ended up with it lying on the table, and the giant was fast asleep. Which gave Jack his chance. He pushed open the oven door, crept across the kitchen floor, grabbed the hen, ran out of the kitchen, all the way along the road to the top of the beanstalk and down. And when he got to the ground, he said, "Mother, Mother, look!" Out she came. Jack put the hen on the floor in front of her. "Yeah, what do you think?" "It's a hen, Jack." "Yeah, I suppose we can have chicken for tea tonight." No, you mustn't eat this chicken, Mother." "Look at this. Lay," he said. And the chicken went. And sure enough, out popped a golden egg. "Oh, Jack, does it do it every time you say that?" "Yes, Mother, it's magic." "We'll never be poor again, Jack." Which is true, because now they had a way of making themselves some wealth whenever they needed it. But, and I don't know if you know this, but the thing is that being rich, people think that might be the thing that makes you happy. But is it really? If that was true, everyone in the world who was rich would be happy, and everyone that was poor would be unhappy. But it isn't like that. There are lots of people who are rich who are not happy, and there are lots of people who are poor who are pretty happy. In fact, very happy sometimes. Now, of course, people need a certain amount of wealth just so they don't have to worry all the time about where their next meal's going to come from. But beyond that, there must be something else going on. And so it was that after a couple of years of being rich like this, although he had everything he needed, Jack was actually just a bit bored. I mean, where was all the challenge in life? And one day he had a look at the beanstalk in his garden and he thought, you know what, I fancy climbing up that beanstalk again, just for an adventure. And so he did. Up and up and up, higher and higher and higher, until his head popped through the clouds and he found himself in the other world. Once again he went along the road to the castle, but this time, when he got there, there was no one at the castle gates. But the gates were just a little bit open, as if someone had popped out for a while. Thought Jack. Maybe I'll just creep in and see what's around. So he did. And sure enough, in the kitchen it was deserted. But then he heard and a sniffing noise, feet, and a voice, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Oh no, thought Jack, it's the giant. He's coming back. Oh, I can't hide in the oven, because his wife will know where I'll be. I'll hide on the top of the stove instead, in this pot. And so he climbed up to the top of the oven and into a huge pot, where he pulled the lid across just enough so he could peek out through a little gap. And at that moment in came both the giant and the giant's wife. I bet it's that boy. He's come back to steal from me again, said the giant. Maybe it is, husband. In which case, he's almost certainly hiding in the oven. That's where he hid before. Right, I'm going to catch him, said the giant. And he came down to the oven door. His head passed so close to where Jack was hiding in the pot. Jack could smell him. It wasn't a very nice smell, and the giant reached out his hand to the oven door and opened it up. Of course, Jack wasn't in there. Said the giant. Well, maybe it is just your breakfast you can smell after all, said the giant's wife. Come and sit up at the table. I'll bring it to you now. And the giant did. And the giant's wife brought out for him 3 fully grown horses for his breakfast, which he ate down in 3 big gulps. He burped. Do you think he said excuse me? No. Do you think he said pardon me? No, because he was a big horrible giant, and big horrible giants, as we now know, have no manners. No, he just said, wife, bring me my harp. And the giant's wife brought him out a beautiful golden harp that had the figure of a lovely lady carved down one side of it. Now, in case you don't know, a harp is a stringed instrument with its own stand that's a kind of triangle shape sticking up off the ground with lots of strings across it. And you stand at the side of it so you can reach out and stroke the strings in front of you as you play. But this one required no plucking by the giant at all. He just said, play. And the harp started to play all by itself. And what's more, the little figure of the lady carved into the side of it was singing along. And as he listened, the giant's head nodded, and he fell fast asleep. Jack saw his chance. He took the lid off the pot and climbed out. He climbed down to the floor of the kitchen and walked across it. Taking carefully hold of the harp, he tiptoed to the door. And he was just opening the kitchen door to leave when the harp said, Master! Master! Oh, Master! I'm being stolen, Master! Help me! Help me! And the giant woke up saying, What's this? "You boy, come back here!" And the giant jumped up from his seat and started chasing Jack out of the kitchen, out of the castle, and down the road. Jack ran as fast as his little legs would carry him. He looked behind him. He could see the giant coming, go as he ran down the road, saying, "Come back here! Oh, stop, thief!" Jack got all the way to the top of the beanstalk. The giant was still coming, so, clutching the harp under one arm, he started to climb down the beanstalk towards his house. The giant got to the top of the beanstalk too. He looked down at Jack and said, "Right, I'm coming after you!" And the giant started to climb down the beanstalk after Jack into our world. Jack was petrified, but he had to keep on climbing down. But now he was shouting, "Mother, mother, mother, come out here!" "What is it, Jack?" Oh, my word, it's a giant." And she fainted on the floor. "Mother, mother, wake up!" "Oh, Jack, it's a giant." And she fainted again. Mother, wake up and stay woken up." "What is it?" "Jack, there's a giant coming." "I know there's a giant coming, Mother." "Please, Mother, go to the shed and fetch an axe. Quickly, an axe, Mother." And so Jack's mother ran to the shed and got an axe. "Quickly, Mum, quickly. I don't know what to do." Luckily, Jack got to the floor just in time. The giant was halfway down and coming fast. "I'm gonna get you, and then I'm gonna eat you up," said the giant. Jack grabbed the axe of his mother and swung it at the beanstalk. The beanstalk shook, but it didn't fall down. "Oh, you're gonna taste so good." Oh, he swung the axe again. This time the beanstalk shook even more, but it still didn't fall. "Oh, just you wait till I get my hands on you," said the giant. "All right, this time," said Jack, and he swung the axe extra hard. This time it went all the way through the beanstalk, and the whole thing came crashing to the ground. And because the giant fell on his head, that big old beast was dead. And, as it happened, Jack, using the harp, became famous. And being rich and famous, it wasn't long before he got the attention of the princess. Yes, the king's daughter. And I heard that one day they were married, and later became king and queen of that land. And Jack remembered at that point how all the money that he had got from the giant had actually been stolen from the people of that land in the first place. And so he shared out his wealth amongst all the people. And he and his wife ruled very happily for many, many years. And that's the end of my tale, as I heard it said, and if there's a fib in it, I'm off home to bed. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the story today. There will be another one soon, so please subscribe to our YouTube channel or our blog so you get a message when the next one is ready. If you'd like to draw a picture of a scene you imagined from the story today, then I'd love to put it on our video here or on our website for other children to see. Please take a photo of your picture and email it to us at info@treehousetheatre.com. I was Ben all this time. Until next time, cheerio.
Tales from the Treehouse.